All right, welcome to round number 4. Our hand is essentially 6, unless we carry Zevs, I guess, at some point, but we are lacking red mana. Other than that, no, it's pretty good. Cycler into Cycler, with the ability to also have have Fulminator is great. All right, we're gonna keep. Serum Visions. Bottom top. Let's start with horror. Might as well cycle the better one first. No reason to do this EOT. Some reason to do it now. Could change what land I want to play. Could also draw Simian Spirit Guide and accelerate a Fulminator, although against basic island, not super likely to do that. Opponent appears to most likely be on Storm. I guess could still change what land I wanted to play. Alright. Have yet to have found a red source, unfortunately, but we do have this outburst, so that's good. Oh, never mind. Some blue-white action. Spreading Seas. My green source is not good. Not good at all. Well, there's a replacement green source. There's a replacement green source. I guess we're going to take this opportunity to resolve this, rather than just spend our turn cycle cycling Carabed and whatever else we draw. The biggest reason is that I doubt our opponent will be able to continue to just play basics. Obviously, giving them the information up front is kind of a bummer, but insulating ourselves a little bit, getting this basically resolved also when our opponent can't interact is pretty good. Pulling up that tech edge sounds nice. Might as well attack first, though. And there's a Simian Spirit Guide. Now, our opponent likely knows we're going to blow that up. And they played it anyway. I'm going to make it look like I have less greens. Oh, shoot. I don't know why I did that. Huge mistake. Yeah. Shoot. I guess you can argue that we wanted it this way, right? But I didn't. I was thinking I was waiting to blow this up till their upkeep, but obviously I don't want to play a 4th land to do that, since they get to do something, so now I wasn't going to get to blow anything up at all. Interestingly enough, this actually works out pretty well, and the reason I played this over this, as I was trying to say, is I wanted to make it look like I was lighter on green. I'd like to say that I planned it out this way, but I didn't, obviously. It was just a mistake. The advantage of doing it this way is that I get to outburst now and have it resolve. Green, blue. I guess we'll just do this and hold some priority, basically. But we're obviously going to cascade into Living End. Hold priority, cast it. Cycle this. Yeah, so this is going to work out for me, but not because I'm a genius, only because I'm fortunate that it worked out for me and I didn't think about stuff while I was mid-sentence, unfortunately. But obviously if we'd planned this out, it would be pretty great. I just didn't. It's going to work out very well for us, since my opponent can't have Wrath next turn. But no sense in pretending. So we have certainly quite a few power on board now. Opponent's going to path something. Fulminator, we do not want to blow up our own land, so sure. I have both a red and a green, but the green coming untapped, so we will do it that way. 12, 15, 18, 22. So they have to have multiple paths to not die here. And we've run on their Fulminator Mage, which is just super fortunate. Been pretty fortunate this game. Happening into the right play earlier is fortunate. And now drawing this additional Fulminator is nice. Oh, they're on the Secure the Wastes. Okay, that makes sense. So they will live. I do not have a way to pump. I guess they'll just block the horrors anyway. 4, 8, 11, 14. But like I said, was very lucky and drew this Fulminator Mage, so we should still be able to easily get through this. Since we will stop ourselves from getting refed. Yeah. All right. Probably want access to these. Fully expect Rest in Peace as well. Making the Macaques probably not necessary. Opponent might shave on snaps even. Chewer's not doing anything. Ma's not really doing anything. Leyland's not doing anything. So Macaque's really the only other choice. But I'll probably just leave them the board and bring these four for like Archfiend, Architects, Karizevs. I also wouldn't mind shaving this Macaque or a Dread, but we're talking about Macaques being the only thing I'm really interested in. So shaving a Macaque for a Macaque just somehow doesn't seem relevant enough. Something about that is a little unexciting. Can't quite put my finger on it. In all seriousness, I guess I could shave a Dread for a Macaque, but I'd likely just rather have the additional Cascaders. Like, yeah, my opponent can leave in snaps and put in recipes at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. They may very well do that, depending on how their board looks. They could easily be doing that. But I don't want to be struggling to find a Dread and overloaded on Macaques. However, some lists also have any number of Surgical, which Macaque also insulates me from a little bit. I think we will do it this way. I don't mind shaving a Dread here. Something like that. So at this point, I'm starting to lean towards confirming my my biases a little bit, that the white splash is probably not worth what it does to our mana base. Which, yeah, I guess I was already a little bit against from the very beginning, but I feel like I've given it a fair try. We've activated it once, and it wasn't relevant. And I don't just mean in this league. I mean in all the I don't know how many matches. I guess I'm approaching like 20 or so with the deck overall, which is not an incredibly huge sample size. Certainly not deterministic to whether or not the vault is useful, but I think at this point I'm willing to shelve it and go to a better mana base and either play no utility land or Kessig Wolfrun, probably no utility land. But either way, this hand looks to be keepable. Once again, we have a bad swamp in Godless Shrine, but obviously it won't pain us here, so it's not a huge deal. Guess we'll be leading on Blooming Marsh. Gonna just hold on the Street Wraith for now, in case my opponent has like a turn 2 rip. Spreading Seas. This time I'm going to cycle the Carabid rather than the Horror. This is a better card for me to actually cast. And I have to be a little bit worried about my opponent having recipes, like I said. So we'll play this one. To protect us a little bit more from spreading seas this particular turn. We still have another green source. Probably get Blood Crypt, I think is the right thing to grab here. Yeah, I'm gonna grab Blood Crypt. Haven't found a Fulminator yet. Again, I'm cautious to, or I'm hesitant, I should say, to cycle this Street Wraith. I'm worried about overloading my yard into a Rest in Peace, but at this point, I want to dig pretty aggressively for a Fulminator, which I have not yet found. And I'll play another fetch land. How many red sources do I have? Mountain, Sacred Foundry. I still have Overgrown Tomb for black sources. This Godless Shrine, Swamp. Stomping Ground for another red source. Opponent certainly has plenty of mana. Plenty of Wrath mana. Math is not quite right. Plenty of Wrath mana. Okay, so this is just gonna happen. Opponent either just drew it or has been wisely holding it back. I'm inclined to believe the latter. Wanted me to commit a little bit to my graveyard before they showed it. But you have to balance it, right? You don't want someone to outburst in response, but they likely had the ability to counter such a thing at this point anyway, so I think they likely played it perfectly. Tomb, I suppose, is the best land here. Alright. Just cast this Macabre. And play a Stomping Ground. Time to hardcast some stuff and hope they don't have too much actual removal, which is not great against blue-white. They usually can deal with a onslaught of commons pretty well. They have a few answers, we should say. 2 4/4s and 2 2s. Sure. I don't think this is the target, but it's likely irrelevant. I'd still get to have a reasonable mana base no matter what they targeted. Ricochet Trap could have redirected that that Spreading Seas. Oh well. Alright. Likely just going to cast a Horror here rather than leave up Trap. If only Sphinx's Revelation was target player. It's no Blue Sun Zenith. Probably get Wrathed here, but I have 2 more Horrors, so don't really mind overcommitting, so to speak. Ooh, did not get Wrathed, and opponent missed land drops. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good target for a Ricochet Trap concerning a path. Like I can redirect to my own Macabre, but tap all creatures your opponent's control, draw a card. Ricochet Trap not doing anything for me there. And I'm not committing more here. Opponent may not have a Wrath yet, but if they are missing their land drops and have a lot of cryptics, that first cryptic is kind of a free roll anyway. This is tempting because it would potentially cut my opponent off of... This potentially cuts me off of, I guess, just double red. I don't really care about double red, but this is kind of losing utility anyway and potentially cuts my opponent off of double white. So yeah, I'll Ricochet Trap that. Onto your Colonnade. I care less about this hitting me than I do hitting, like, the fact that it's going to hit my opponent instead. There's still some utility for this Ricochet Trap, like I might try to Horror next turn and have them mana leak it or whatever, but negate my Ricochet Trap. Sure. That's probably a fine exchange for my opponent too. Tech Edge. All right. I was hoping we would draw something exciting this turn with our free turn mana wise, but opponent's shield's down. Don't really have anything to do, unfortunately. So I definitely want to show my opponent this white source. I'd like for them to use their Tech Edge, either on my red source or my white source. Don't really care, since I have this Bloodstained Mire. I don't think I commit another threat still. Could commit a Simian Spirit Guide, not shed too many tears about it, but if our opponent wraths, then I could go land Horror Guide, which is, better, I think, than just following up with one Horror. I would rebuild my board a lot faster that way. So I think I'd rather not throw another creature into the what is likely going to be a Supreme Verdict soon. It's possible my opponent hasn't found one, but Detention Sphere, yeah, that would indicate that they probably still have not found one. Another Colonnade. Those are actually going to be kind of annoying, considering my opponent can block with them. That helps a lot against Colonnade, though. Also, could target this Detention Sphere. Less concerned about the Rest in Peace at this stage. I wanted to incentivize this Tech Edge, but we're kind of past that. So I think I might as well show my opponent this to ensure I get to cast both of these and not worry about leaving this up. Don't care about the Sacred Foundry, right? I guess I do if I draw the Vault. Don't care that much about my life. Have to be worried about dying to Colonnades, but not really. Opponent's not really in a position to start cracking it with Colonnades, I think. I'm gonna believe it. My opponent might be selling me a lie, but I'll commit more into this potential verdict. If they're willing to desphere a Horror there, I think I'm willing to believe it. Maybe missing an opportunity to turn this Beast Within into a free sinkhole, though. If my opponent does untap and verdict here. Yep. I think that's fine. I'd probably still rather be targeting the Detention Sphere. Not a very good draw here, but certainly we have a lot of bad ones like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still have 2 green sources, 2 red sources, 2 black sources, or 3 black sources rather, and 2 white sources. So our mana's pretty safe from this Tech Edge. Path that, yeah, that's a bummer. Could Beast Within my own Horror here, which is probably better than Beast Within your Detention Sphere, giving you the Beast and me the Horror. The problem with that is that it doesn't match up very well against Colonnade. Oh, this is a tough spot. I don't feel good about our prospects in this particular game. I guess that resolves. And we grab a mountain, and I beast within this now. Sure, my opponent gets the non-summoning sick beast, but I'd rather just not get countered. They may have another path, in which case I'm just going to get clocked with the beast and potentially also a colonnade and be dead very soon, but I think that's where we're at, unfortunately. Yeah, if they're firing up the colonnade, they likely have a path here. Or not. Alright. Well, that's certainly a sign of weakness then. Sure. Which is weird, because our opponent has to have a whole bunch of spells at this point. Unfortunately, I did not draw a... I'm gonna try to sell my opponent the bluff here. I think I have to. They probably aren't interested, but I think I have to attack here, and I have to not think about it very long. I'm just gonna go straight into combat and attack with this. Got the jump block. Even if they didn't buy it, I wouldn't just be dead. Like, I can outburst the colonnade to death. Would rather not kill my horror as well, but we're through 0 living ends and just have 1 in hand. Yeah. Jace, Architect of Thought, sure. Imagine a -2 on the way. Let's try that. See how our opponent feels about that. Took the Supreme Verdict. Another sphere. All right. Well, that's not great. Looks like we're gonna be using this living end to this violent outburst to blow up a single colonnade, I'm guessing. Maybe not. Yeah, okay. Do it. Begin combat step. I'm not sure this has a fetchable left. I should definitely check before fetching, but I think Foothills may actually be dead. Let's double check real quick. Blood Crypt, Forest Mountain, Tomb, Foundry, Stomping Ground. Yeah, we have all those. Tomb, Foundry, Stomping Ground. Yeah. All right, opponent actually negates that, but at least we stopped. We got a negate out of our opponent's hand, I guess, and stopped the colonnade from clocking us. So, a minor victory. We'll call it. We'll call it a minor victory. It's not particularly, but that's all right. Oops. No, that's fine actually. Yeah. We'll use these islands to cast the Semi-Spirit Guide. I like how we're a 5-color deck now, also. Yeah, Sphinx's Revelation we'll probably put in a separate pile here. That one can be troublesome. Surprisingly, our opponent took the Sphinx's Revelation. How unfortunate. Don't think it really changed our percentage points to win this game very much, but it certainly lowered it, if anything. Going down to 3. I guess we get to kill this Jace. We can call that a victory. Chalk that up to a victory. This living end, though, means we can't really draw any way to deal with this colonnade other than Fulminator, I suppose. So hopefully we find a Fulminator. Even then, I guess Fulminator would work if our opponent didn't have a way to interact with our Fulminator. Let's get that Jace off the table. Then I'm going to have to cycle this Ceradon. Which is unfortunate. I'd rather be casting it. Alright. Running out of... I guess we still have plenty of black sources here to cast a Fulminator Mage. Which we found. Do it that way, I suppose. And now we just pass. I can't just blow up a colonnade because my opponent has two. If they have a path here, yeah. We'll pretend like we have a beast within, I guess. Yeah. Opponent not buying it, which is very reasonable. We will take it. Take it and be going to game 3. Alright. I mean, I think we sideboarded exactly the right way. I think our opponent obviously had the rips just like we anticipated. And plenty of counter magic, just like we anticipated. So I think the Ricochet Trap and the Beast Within Synchrosis Grips are the right things to be bringing in. The second Macabre, I think, is just a fine hedge. It's probably better than this card anyway. I even rather have the 2/2 Flyer for 3, I think, than the 4th Dread at this in this particular matchup. So let's see how we can do in game number 3 here. Tough hand. Whoa, that's not what we want at all. 5 mana sources is just a ton, but having a Simian Spirit Guide makes the potential of a Fulminator Mage so much better. Plus we have a couple early cyclers, so even if this is also a hand that's actually pretty good with turn 2 Living End, like not something I typically want to do against blue-white because of the potential for just a bunch of paths, but a line we could definitely take to get under counterspells and wraths to just put 9 power into play right away. I think because of both of those things, I'm actually going to keep this hand, even if it is a little land light, or land heavy, excuse me. It has the potential to be explosive, which I think is actually kind of important in this matchup. Blue-white may be a deck that you can sort of afford to take your time in, but the later we get, obviously, the easier it is for them to just wrath. They like only have to counter end of turn Living Ends. And then any Demonic Dreads or anything like that, they can just wrath the board, no problem. There's a Violent Outburst, so if we don't find a Fulminator here, that gives us the option to go for the aggressive, let's put 9 power into play, turn 2, which I will go for if presented with the opportunity here. I wonder if I somehow get punished for not playing a land first. That would be weird. Doing my end step, I guess. Might as well upkeep it. Yeah, sure. Upkeep's fine. 2, 3. It's not like I had any additional cyclers here anyway, just drawing both these Demonic Dreads. So there's really not much incentive to wait here. The way I get punished, obviously, is path, but we'll see. All right. I would like to guess this. Yep, I was worried about that. Don't have a Macabre. I think Street Wraith is interesting. I guess they're worried about me having additional street wraiths, and probably that means they also have the path. So yeah, this is really not going to work out for us. Playing against the list with both Rest in Peace and Surgicals is kind of a struggle. I fully anticipate White Source Path here. Alright, let's ship in with the Ceradon, see what happens. Who knows what could happen? Did we get in? Oh, we got in. Nice. Probably am interested in cycling this. It's possible I'm not. Is there anything I would really want to do on my main phase with 2 mana? No. So I guess we'll just wait and make that decision at a later date. I am going to cycle this. Need to find some stuff to do post Wrath. That is a great draw. So our opponent might be leaning on Supreme Verdict to actually clean this up. Hopefully they don't have counter magic for this. Hopefully they just have like negates. Sucks that we have these dreads. Otherwise we could rebuild a little bit of a board post Wrath, but hey, that worked out. That's also very fortunate. Play this tapped. Did not expect that to resolve. But I guess they really have to have Mana Leak there. Or Supreme Will. Since obviously Negate won't do it and they don't have the mana yet for Cryptic. If they haven't had Path yet, I'm going to continue to make that play. I wonder, I guess they figured I was only willing to go for that aggressive of a Living End if I only had more Street Wraiths, so they decided to hit my Street Wraith, banking on the fact that I would have more. But I'm surprised to see that play if they don't have Path already. Maybe they found a Detention Sphere here. Wow. Just got to find a way to deal the last couple points, I guess. Oh, a Spreading Seas. So they're looking for Path. Okay, that's even better. I guess we were able to get there. I will see you in a bit.